our Backlash 2024 predictions. Now, as of this recording, we only have 3 confirmed matches. There are some potential matches that seem like they're written on the wall. So we'll talk about those potential matches and see where that goes. Currently, we have Damian Priest versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. We got Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles, who beat LA Knight on last week's SmackDown for the undisputed the WWE Championship, because I think they just eliminated Undisputed Universal. And also the Street Profits versus 8-Town Down Under for their WWE Tag Team Championships. I think that's what they called it. You know what? Let a quick aside, because we had on Raw the debut of new tag team titles, and on SmackDown we also got new tag team championships. Which one do you guys like better, and what do you guys think of them in general?
I like SmackDowns.
Is it because it looks like the older ones? Or
No,
you just
it looks like a plate.
Yeah, but you remember the Attitude Era WWF Championship? That looked like a plate. That was still pretty cool.
Yeah, but it was a cool looking plate. It wasn't just a plate with like a W on it.
I kind of like it kind of has like this, like, it's like golden lions-ish, and there's like this white ish background behind the gold.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I think it looks cool. But I do say I do like the SmackDown ones better.
Yeah, classic. You know, if you're going for wrestling fans, that nostalgia hit doesn't hit like nothing else.
Yeah.
It's nothing stronger.
When I was actually at the show, I saw the belts. Steve-O was the one that showed it to me. And I was like, yeah, I like the look. I actually like both, but I think I actually prefer the Raw ones.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, hot take.
Hot take. I mean, if you're looking at X and Instagram, that is a hot take. But I mean, yeah, I think they're good titles. I don't get why people are shitting on them. But you know what? There's always going to be people shitting on something. If there will be contrarians, and any comment section is not a accurate verifier data point for, opinions. So sometimes I feel like people take the comment section a little too seriously. Like, I've seen wrestlers, specifically FTR recently, like they're just like if someone like said shit, I would just ignore it, but they're like putting it in their stories, responding to these guys. Like, it just seems like a waste of energy for me. But I don't know. I would just leave that shit alone, man.
Local man yells at cloud.
Honestly, but like, that's the other thing. Like, you guys are, I don't know. Like, I understand, like, you make millions of dollars and all that kind of stuff, and you're a public figure, but if I was in their position, I think I would actively just turn off comments. Like, I'll upload content and stuff, but I just wouldn't pay attention to the comments, because you will always get negativity and people saying shit. Like, that's how I just look at it. I'm like, oh, water's wet. Someone called me an asshole or whatever it is, But sometimes people can't help themselves. But I guess that's a side rant. But I do like the SmackDown titles better. It does remind me of those old titles, and it does remind me of like Paul London and Brian Kendrick as tag team champs for whatever reason. When I see those belts, I do like that it's like very just like gold, and it's not like it's an obvious like big W in the middle. There's a W, but they're not making it a focal point, as it shouldn't. But what do you guys think about? So they have these new tag belts. Do you think they're going to change the women's tag team championships, or do you think that those will stay?
Those will probably stay.
They're pretty new.
Yeah, I mean, they're only like, what, 2 years old?
Nobody's really complained about them either.
Right, and they look nice. I think they look good.
Yeah,
I like that it separates from the men's belt with these white straps.
The men's belt really needed an update, anyways.
They did.
Prettiest.
They
were copper originally, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, they were copper. Like, they were the same coin shape. It was copper first, and then they just switched it to silver. Like, for me, like, visually, it just means like, oh, it's like a third place belt, because you were literally putting bronze or silver, a second place belt, when you're doing that. Just give them gold. Like, they're the champions of the tag team division. So give them gold. It's not like, I'm the champ. Here's some bronze pennies, for
Yeah.
That was Vinnie
So
Mac.
that's a good addition.
That was Vinnie Mac, and I don't understand like the logic. I guess I get like the Spartan helmet, whatever. It was kind of cool, I guess, but yeah, I didn't like what they even did with like the WWE Championship belts, like color coding it. Like this is red, this is blue. I didn't like that.
But so
personally. Exactly. I mean, that's how you know, but I don't know. We'll get into like the concept of brands and brand splitting in the draft section, but yeah, tag belts are awesome. I think they look great, and and I'm curious to see if he'll do the same thing for the WWE Championship. The World Heavyweight one just showed up last year, so I don't know if they'll be changing that anytime soon, but I feel like the WWE Championship might see a facelift.
Well, I mean, you don't put a giant fucking WWE belt in front of the headquarters and then just change that shit.
Yeah. I agree.
I guess you're right.
Because TKO has the UFC belt.
When they change it from the fanny pack.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly.
When they change it from the spinner or the whatever, because it stopped spinning, it's for some point there.
Yeah.
For whatever, I forgot what they even called it, but when they changed it to like the older squiggly, like scratch, like WWE logo signs, and then now I got into this one, like I liked it, but then I think it overstayed its welcome. So I'm assuming they're going to change that one too. And I think they should.
I mean, and it's you guys were saying like, well, they already have this kind of lawn ornament on their front company building, but I think it's a merchandise opportunity. I mean, look at what they just did with the tag belts. They immediately posted it, like, oh, you could buy these new tag team titles, and those folks are gonna buy that shit up. All the basement dwellers and people with long stringy hair and fedoras, they will eat that shit up. and me.
There goes our audience. No.
Oh crap! My bad.
AI, AEW fan.
But yeah, versus the Chad WWE fan.
Yeah, tribalism.
But yeah, great, awesome tag titles. But we'll start with the World Heavyweight Championship match. What do you guys think? So Backlash in France, I can't pinpoint what kind of crowd that's going to be. What do you think they'll be hot? Like, or did they sell it out? I've never seen a fanatical French wrestling fan, but I guess I wasn't looking, right? So how do you guys think the crowd is going to be at Backlash?
It's going to be go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's gonna be like Lisa going to that French class in that like higher education school or whatever, and they're like, "All right, laugh correctly," and they're like, "Oh
my god,
that's how it's gonna be."
Edit that ignorant comment out. You're gonna start talking about baguettes too, huh? Striped shirts and berets.
Hey man, you're laying it on thick. Cigarettes.
Why does everybody look like a mime?
Exactly. Hey, I thought we shooting out here.
They're pretty vocal from clips that they posted on WWE from like last year's house shows. But for whatever reason, they like Baron Corbin. So who knows what the fuck's gonna happen?
That is interesting, right? I'm curious to see where their tastes go, because there are some obvious ones. I think people will be cheering more, unless it's Bizarro World, and they'll be cheering the opposite of who people like, which is fine.
Like when Io Sky was in Puerto Rico, she was
man, she was like it sounded like a hometown girl, man.
Yeah, honorary Puerto Rican.
Honorary Puerto Rican Io Sky. Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's a different island.
Yeah, that was crazy. And you know what it is? I think partially it is because they've never gotten a PLE, or they haven't gotten it in such a long time. All that pent up energy, they're like, I want to show you what our crowd can do. And I think the French pay-per-view or PLE is going to be doing the same.
Well, you could also think about like France connected, and a lot of Europe is connected through trains and stuff. So it might not be just like strictly French people.
That's true.
The London crowds and stuff. Yeah.
that shit's gonna happen.
Weed.
Yeah, weed.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's probably going to pop off for sure. Because every time they go to London, they went to Scotland. Was it Scotland or yeah, it was Scotland, right?
Mm.
Glasgow. Like crowds were always nuts. All in those
Well, Clash
blokes.
of the Castle, that one was in Wales.
Oh,
If
well,
that's what you're talking about. But they've
yeah,
had live shows in Scotland and the UK.
yeah.
Yeah, they've definitely gone through a plenty of times.
Gonna be a
They've
similar
been doing it.
reaction.
It sounds like Cody Rhodes gets a pretty good reaction from the London crowd, but I'm just curious to see like his name is the American Nightmare, so like a European perspective of that kind of
Invading Europe.
persona, yeah, or do they think we're like some kind of like how we view Russia, like
But it is pro wrestling, though.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I think that I think most people. I don't think people look at it that way anymore. And if they do boo, it's because like they think it's fun, not like it wasn't like Sergeant Slaughter in '92 when he was
sympathizer.
with an Iraqi sympathizer or an Iranian sympathizer.
I forget
Right.
about that,
It
yeah.
was Iraqi because Saddam
Yeah.
Hussein.
Yeah.
And they were photoshopping him with Saddam Hussein. Like people were legitimately pissed off. And
Yeah. There was threats
they
on the
wanted to
company
kill
and
him.
everything.
Yeah,
mean,
I watched that biography. They were they had to put security guards at his family's house. So not only was his wife like upset that he was barely ever home, but then the guy who's never home has now gotten their house death threats and security guards.
I mean, that's how
So-
back in the day, like when pro wrestling started, they would just generate heat by like putting like Russians or Germans or something like that as heel characters and like the circus stuff, and then whoever would be the face. So old as time.
I mean, I think it's also like there was also this kind of sense that maybe it was real, so a lot of people treated it as like they're actually real, whatever Russians, because some of them were definitely not Russian or French, or Joaquin, the African Dream, or whatever his name was. He was not black. I think he was a white guy.
It's real to me,
Right?
damn it.
Like that. And again, thank God Vince is gone. Some of those choices were fucking bizarre, man. Even for like 1993, I think.
That shit's crazy.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, going back to my original point about the crowd in France and how they're going to react, I do think it's going to be super hot because of that pent up energy. So that'll be really fun to see. And so the first one with Damian Priest versus Jey Uso. Priest got the championship at WrestleMania 40. He cashed in the title only seconds after Drew McIntyre beat Seth Rollins. And CM Punk obviously did a little assist to get Priest's first run as world champion on there that night. I might foresee McIntyre interfering in this in some fashion. So that might... I mean, I don't know what that means for these two because they're not that involved with the CM Punk feud. But where do you guys think this goes with Damian Priest and Jey Uso? Do you think there's any chance in hell Jey Uso can beat Damian Priest?
No.
No, I think it might be some
Yeet.
type of bloodline continuation.
No yeet.
I mean, I
Really?
think it's they booked it in a way where they're like, okay, this guy's a main event guy. He gets a title shot, but he's just gonna lose it. You
Yeah.
know? So they're always just gonna keep him in like that kind of a title picture, but
It's main event, Jey Uso
Upper mid card.
doesn't
upper-
mean he's
yeah.
in.
right.
He's just in the main event.
Well, okay, so I guess I want to throw this additional story point because we have this new bloodline story formulating, and I gotta say, I think Solo as a promo person and the way he delivers his lines and stuff, I think he's actually really good. I don't know why they didn't let him talk before or as much. Like you can never hear him speak for a majority of the Bloodlines run so far. But he did really good, and Tama Tonga looks like a freaking like machine. Like he looks like polished, jack dude. And they took out Jimmy Uso. So where the hell does Jimmy Uso go? He was upset at Jey Uso, and they had this whole feud, and he hates the guy. And now he stayed with the Bloodline, and now Solo and Tama Tonga are creating their own version. And I'm assuming that The Rock is probably having some kind of input in this faction, and that's how they're going to split like the Roman versus Rock. I think that's where that's going. So where does Jimmy go? Like, do you think
With Roman.
Do you think he goes to Roman Reigns?
Yeah, he's gonna join the Wolfpack.
What do you think he does in the meantime, though? Because I don't think that's happening anytime soon. Do you think he interferes in this match for some ungodly reason?
Tag teams with Jey Uso.
Yeah, he's going.
Just puts him back as a tag team.
Yep. Get these new shiny belts.
Don't think it's gonna happen.
Your singles run was short-lived, Jay, but well, actually, it was fairly long. But I mean, they've always like split people apart and put them back together. I mean, the Hardys are a good example, right? They had their singles runs, and then they went back as tag teams. So I guess that's a potential. But so consensus is we think Jey Uso is gonna lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we think he's going to lose clean? You said that there was going to be a bloodline interference. Is there any other? Do you think there's some kind of involvement with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre or Judgment Day? I guess.
I can see Judgment Day interfering with the bloodline. But yeah, I definitely don't think Damian Priest is going to lose. He just got his belt, the newer one. You know, I don't think he's going to have like a super long run, but I definitely feel like he's going to have a decent run for a little while. And now with Rhea Ripley injured, you know, they had both of their world titles prospectively, and now she's gone, so maybe they'll have him be the one that's carrying it, you know.
Yeah, I mean they lost one belt, they lose two, and then just like ruin their momentum, right? You know, going in like then you kind of make Judgment Day look like schmucks, but. A lot of people still are saying that Damian Priest is going to be a transitional champion. Like he's only gonna he'll beat the guy at Backlash, but then they're saying that at Clash of the Castle in June, I think it is, he's gonna lose to Drew McIntyre. Do you think that's feasible?
Yes.
Possible.
And then maybe that'll set up for Punk after that, maybe for Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm. Your reasons, Chris?
Yeah, I think he's gonna lose it. First Puerto Rican champ, or not first Puerto Rican champ, but he gets the card. Now you go away, kind of a thing. Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm trying to think because Damian Priest is a heel. Drew McIntyre is obviously a heel, or maybe he's a lovable asshole, so he's a tweener. Because then that's the match, right? So, do you think that can work with Drew McIntyre? I like how we're just like saying, yeah, Jay's gonna lose.
There's no question there.
I truly think that's it.
I mean, who knows? Because between now and then, a lot of shit can happen. But as it stands now,
because the other thing is that we have to think about the draft that's going to take place, soon. And as of this recording, maybe it'll already happen. We'll see. But the draft is probably going to shake up a lot of things, and we'll jump into that in a couple of minutes. But Damian Priest is probably going to retain. Hopefully it's a really good match. They can definitely put on a show. I do expect some kind of interference. Maybe CM Punk and Drew McIntyre somehow get involved because Drew is looking for that title specifically. But I think his hatred for Punk right now is kind of overshadowing the championship. So maybe he won't even be involved. But
yeah, I think it's honestly going to be separate. That's going to be probably fleshed out for a while, and then he'll get back into the title thing, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is even though like they lost the women's world title because Rhea Ripley had to relinquish it of her injury, they still got half of the tag title because of R-Truth.
Oh well, I mean, jokingly that they're like that doesn't count, but I could I could definitely see them weave that in there.
Yeah,
I could definitely see them weaving that in there. We'll save the championship match last. We'll go into the next one that is announced: Street Profits versus A-Town Down Under. They just A-Town Down Under just got their titles at WrestleMania, and I do like them as a tag team. I think they're super entertaining. Putting them together was exactly what I expected, and they meld so well. So I don't know if I could see them losing either. Do you guys have any counter opinions on this match?
I mean, Street Profits are like a legit tag team because these guys were kind of put together. Yeah, they meshed, but they weren't like billed as a tag team. So I could see them losing.
Well, they got a name at least, you know. Like sometimes you just have like I don't know Natalia and I don't even know Natalia and some other woman wrestler, and they just have like two names. They just use their names, and that's a tag team, quote unquote. You know, so I feel like because they have like the name and all that kind of stuff, there is a concerted effort to treat them as an actual tag team.
Yeah,
Personally.
I guess so.
I don't see them losing their belts. Honestly, probably throughout the whole, even though like they haven't announced every match yet, I probably don't see any title exchanges just yet. Maybe just set up
Backlash.
for yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's all going to be
I don't really see.
retained.
I could be wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I could see like it'll be lots of good matches. I think most of them will be retained. Is the Women's World Championship, is that going to be a match on Raw, or are they putting that on Backlash? I think it's a Raw thing. Well,
I kind of
let me
find it
double
funny
check.
too, because I remember like what was it like? Didn't Asuka get it because someone else was injured too? It was
Cursed.
it Becky? And they just awarded it to Asuka.
Okay, so Battle Royal will determine the next Women's World Champion. Huh.
Oh, that's cool. So it's gonna be a whole thing for that. Okay, not just for a shot, for like you actually get the title. That's cool.
Yes.
Gonna be Liv.
So I mean, I could see Liv Morgan getting it. I mean, I'm digging her heel run right now. I think that's what she needed because her face character was kind of flat for me. I mean, it's kind of like Candice LeRae too. Both of them as faces. They maybe if there was something interesting that they could attach to them, I'd be more invested. But I liked that. I like them as baddies better, just because I mean, they haven't done anything, so maybe it's something different. Will sparks my interest. Maybe that's why. But I could see Liv Morgan. I mean, I could see Liv Morgan getting it, and because Rhea Ripley's going to be out for a couple of months, I'm not sure how long she's going to be.
I mean, that's the match.
She can hold on to it, and that would be the match, I think. But yeah, so for the tag teams, we think you guys think A-Town Down Under is retaining.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now there are other potential matches that haven't been announced yet, and probably when Raw happens, maybe they'll announce it. It'll be Gable versus Sami Zayn. Now, I don't know where this one could go because I think Chad Gable deserves the Intercontinental Championship, but I don't know if he'd be getting it that quickly. What do you guys think?
Nah, he says shit. Sammy got his win in freaking Canada. Now he gets to lose it.
That's true. I mean, they just had the match, right? Like, do you think that they would put another? I mean, I guess I don't see why not. It'd be just kind of like I could see him making a 3-parter.
Yeah, maybe.
He wins the belt, he wins it, or he retained. Chad wins it back, and then they do a rubber match. Because that thing just started, and I don't see how they wouldn't put this on a PLE. Maybe non-title, but I don't see why Sammy would be like, yeah, I'm doing this, but non-title. I don't think that's happening.
No.
But do you think Sami Zayn retains?
I think he does.
I think Sammy will retain, yeah.
And then get the shit beat out of him.
I mean, the one thing Sami Zayn does really well is sell
Yep.
moves. The moment, like I truly believe, like, did he twist his ankle? Does his back hurt? Like just the way he sells
Yeah.
and he delivers is just so good. I feel like he's to a certain degree underrated. Awesome. Well, I can't think of any other potential matches right now. Maybe something between Dominic Mysterio and Ray.
On 0 Hour.
Yeah, on 0 Hour. I thought
Maybe the women's tag titles too. I could see them doing something with that. So
Oh yes, I could see Jade Cargill and Bianca versus the Kabuki Warriors as a match. Because they have still technically 2 weeks. So they have 2 Raws and 2 SmackDowns to get some matches in. I mean, it's kind of short, but I guess that's how Backlash always was. You know, like literally, it's literally like less than a month because WrestleMania was 6th and 7th, and Backlash is May 4th, so that's less than a month in between. And I mean, the meaning of Backlash is like it's a backlash, like it's an immediate like return. Historically, there were a lot of rematches from WrestleMania at Backlash. So yeah, let's jump into the undisputed WWE Championship. So we got Cody Rhodes, and then this past SmackDown we got AJ Styles beating LA Knight for his opportunity at the championship. Now, there is some history between Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
Just running the
Were they?
boat. But
Yeah,
they
I'm
were
gonna say they were both there at the same time.
No, AJ was already in WWE.
Oh, that long. Okay. But they
they were in the
a
same
lot of
faction.
correlating. Yeah.
Yeah, and they also, I think AJ Styles actually, I don't know who mentioned this on social media. I think it might have been Chris Van Vliet, but AJ Styles faced Dusty Rhodes for the NWA Championship, I think, and now he's facing Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Both Georgia boys, I think that's probably going to be something that they're going to talk up. I don't know what this is going to look like. If this is going to be just like a short-term plug, and again, because like this draft that's looming over, I think it'll change the trajectory of a lot of these feuds and people, especially if they like mix them up. You know, maybe that's what they're partially waiting on, for people to like be on the right brand before they get some actual stories going. So this might be just like a stopgap in between for Cody Rhodes. But does anyone think that AJ Styles is going to win?
No.
Nah.
No.
Nah.
Like, what logical
Sorry,
reason
AJ.
would be for AJ Styles to beat Cody Rhodes? I'm trying to think. I can't think of one. I mean,
I can't think of one. It just doesn't make sense.
That would be hilarious, though. He loses
Not yet,
his
at
first
least.
title defense.
that would be funny. They're like, you know what? Let's just swerve for swerve's sake. Like, let's let's just have him lose the belt, because they're like, well, we just really like Cody Rhodes as the underdog, so let's just have him. Like, they're gonna want to have Cody Rhodes catch up to John Cena's 16 by having him like win it back 15 times in like 2 years, which would be kind of funny. But
Triple
I
H.
finished your story. He's good, so just take it back.
yeah,
Triple H just comes out with like a eagle and he smashes it with like a sledgehammer. Bitch.
that would be funny. I mean, I feel like there's just too many things that are outlined for the future, like Cody Rhodes versus The Rock. Maybe that doesn't necessarily need a title belt, but because that Raw after WrestleMania, they had that whole segment where, you know, I'll let you hold mine if you let me hold yours. Penis innuendo.
Pause.
Yeah.
I think that just kind of like based off of that, there is the potential and probably inevitability of Cody Rhodes going against The Rock for the WWE Championship. Now, if it's at WrestleMania or SummerSlam, I have no idea. Or maybe it's at Survivor Series. Just make Chicago a yearly Survivor Series. That'd be great. But yeah, I don't see Cody Rhodes losing this anytime soon.
No.
No one until maybe a Rock feud, and maybe he can beat him. I don't know, but it will be interesting. I think for Cody Rhodes, and maybe we can talk about this now too, because we were kind of joking about Roman Reigns getting these "We Want Roman" chants on this previous SmackDown. And folks were saying, oh, the fans are fickle and all that kind of stuff. Now, they are fickle, but I will also say, from my perspective, and the context was like Cody Rhodes wasn't in the ring when they were chanting that. It was the Bloodline with Solo and Paul Heyman, and he was trying to. Now, also, by the way, Solo is getting like Dominic Mysterio. When he's talking, they're doing the same thing. At least in that specific show, like they were giving him so much heat, and I think it's the combination of like it looks like he's going against Roman Reigns. He just beat the crap out of Jimmy Uso, so there's a lot of negativity, and it just looks like he's trying to like take it over. Although I still think The Rock is behind it, but. Yeah, he's getting a lot of heat. And I think the reason people were chanting, "We want Roman," was because Bloodline, oh, he's taking Roman's spot. That's why they're chanting it. But I think Cody Rhodes was interesting as an underdog. He finally did that, finishing the story bit. And now going forward, actually being the champion, what they do with him will be interesting because again, like I don't know. Maybe he will flop. Maybe he won't be like a John Cena or whatever, and people will lose interest. I don't see that happening. But how do you guys see Cody Rhodes' popularity go from here? Going forward as champion. Do you think it's going to be successful?
I mean, my cynical side says that fans will just drop him like Andy throwing out Woody. I don't want to play with you anymore. That's what I think. But maybe that's just going to be strictly to the internet because that's just going to be internet debate conversation shit. But general audience, maybe not. I don't know. Yeah. Or he'll get the John Cena treatment as far as fans go.
Like just let's go Cena. Cena sucks stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's going to have a good run, and I think he's a good champion. I think. Like as a character, like he can wear the belt good enough and stay face, and maybe it might get to that point where it'd be like Cena, where like we might get tired of him. Yeah, probably. That's the only way I could see it getting like tarnished per se. But I think as a performer, I think in the ring on the mic, I think he's going to be carrying it very well.
Do you think that his babyface level can be sustained for as long as like a Hulk Hogan did? Because I think Hulk Hogan's like popularity, Hulkamania, that's like what, 1984 to 92? That's almost a decade. That's like 7 years of people like really liking Hulk Hogan. Do you think? I don't think that Cody's popularity can sustain that long, nor do I think he's going to be champion for that long either, because in 7 years be 47. I mean, I guess that doesn't really matter, but
I think it can if he has the right opponent. If he could do for great storytelling, then sure.
Yeah,
because that's why Hogan kept winning. He also had great other performers that were helping him put over, Right. And then actually, I was just talking about it with Steve. I forgot about it. Because we were talking about the Bloodline and that Yokozuna was technically part of it. And how was it WrestleMania like 9 when he was the champion at the main event, and then like I forgot he was fighting Bret Hart, and then for some reason Hogan showed up and then won it,
and wins.
He wasn't even in the match
for whatever ungodly reason. Yes.
Yeah. So
that was probably.
But no, as long as there's a good storytelling, I think as long and obviously WWE has got some of the best talent they've had, collectively, and they're just developing new great stars along the way. I do think Cody can definitely have a very good run for a while, But the only thing I can see of it maybe being like that John Cena treatment, where it's like, okay, we get it. We've seen it all already. Seen it enough.
Enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Dusty Rhodes. My dad is Dusty Rhodes.
I mean, even like Cody admits, like that rant ran into the ground. Like he knows that was overplayed, and I think, I mean, it's to no fault of his own, because every single time an interviewer asks, they always bring up his father, and I'm sure in his head he's probably rolling his eyes because he keeps getting asked that same damn question, and I'm sure that is annoying. And like you said, I think Cody will be as popular. I mean, as a character and as a person, I think he will be a top guy for the rest of his career. Like, there's no way he's going back to mid card or whatever. Like, he's reached that echelon. It'll maybe ebb and flow in terms of people's reactions, but as a top guy, I don't think he's going anytime soon. In terms of his baby face and his positive reactions, I think that will be entirely dependent on the kind of material he's given. I'm sure he's probably having some kind of creative freedom in these conversations. But I think it has to be buttressed by a good storyline, and people will react accordingly, because not everyone enjoys like a person who wins all the time. I mean, that's why John Cena was disliked. But I've also said in the past that Cody Rhodes as a character, as a person, as a wrestling background that is considerably different from John Cena's, the perspective of him as a top guy is different from like a John Cena who was like clean cut bodybuilder. Vince saw him as a top guy, and he was given that top guy status pretty early on. Like, he was 25, 26 when he was like peak, John Cena, like when he was doing the Edge thing, spinner belt, he was like 25 or 26.
Economics, chain gang.
Yeah, and Cody's 38 or something like that. Like, he really scratched and clawed his way to finally get one championship belt, and be a top guy for the past 2 years, so it took him 15 versus like Cena's 5 or 6. So I think that there's an edge there in terms of people reacting. And again, the social media comments on all that kind of stuff, I don't look into that as much, personally. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think Cody Rhodes is going to lose anytime soon. You know what will be interesting, though, is is there a possibility for him to be a heel anytime soon, or do you think that's still a long way down the road?
Oh, way down the road.
I can't wait.
I think unlike Cena, they'll actually turn him heel at some point.
Yes, I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right there. Like, you're wearing like American themed gear. A lot of people
you'd be the right guy to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like people cheered for this story, but you could also twist it in a way where people are like, "Oh God, yeah, like my father and all this stuff, I deserved it." Like, you could twist it. Yeah, you could twist it.
I do know who he happens to be.
Colonialism, American colonialism, blonde-haired, arrogant race,
Lord White and Soft Crown.
vague, shades of neo-Nazism, for some people's perspective, like the ideal white person. Like, there's a lot there that you could work with.
So it'll be like some like new tag team coming and dominating WWE, and then they start beating up like Randy Orton, and then Cody will show up thinking he's gonna save him, and he just drops a leg on him.
Doesn't work for me, brother. He just says it in the mic.
Yeah, Bullet Club dudes too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting. Honestly, like, a lot of people make that comparison to Homelander, but I would love to see him with a Homelander character, like corporate, like superhero. If you guys watch The Boys at all,
Yeah,
I want to.
it's really good. But
I hear it's great. Yeah.
Corporate superhero, like objectively, he looks like the top guy, but he's behind. He's a real racist. He has mommy issues. He killed like a plane of people. Or I guess I should have said unalive, because it probably gets demonetized.
Unalive.
murder.
unalived people on a plane, and then blamed it on the people who were in there, and like he flew away. Like I could see like that Cody Rhodes character kind of be like that, because there's a lot of gold in this character from that perspective. So we'll all be tuned in, but yes, I think Cody Rhodes is gonna win and keep it.
Do you got the stones, H?
That I want to see
You
who
don't
else will feed
have the
Triple H.
Grapefruits.
Genetic jackhammer.
Crazy
Lord.
motherfucker.
So we've been touching
wrestling coming soon.
Yeah. Oh, see, there you go. Like I was in my brain, my hamster wheel was turning. Like, what would you even call it? And you're right, it would be called Grapefruits Wrestling.
Grapefruits Wrestling Federation.
Grapefruits Wrestling Federation.
GFWF.
Grapefruits Wrestling Entertainment.
You know he loves you when he names an unsaid inanimate object after you.
That's true.
Oh man.
True.
This will be clipped.